Hello, Ms. Buchanan's Algebra 1A. This is 315. This is a little quiz that she popped on us today, and I want to make sure I get some accommodations out there, clarifications, interventions for those of you that need them. Let's get started. Taking a look at number one, remember slope is going to be, your slope equals the rise over the run. So it's going to look like a fraction like that. And then if we can simplify that fraction, we will. But if not, just leave it like a fraction because, you know, that tells us the rise over the run, tells us the slope. So we're going to count from point to point here in number one. It goes up how many, over how many. So it goes up, and you count how many lines it goes up and then how many lines that it goes over, and put that as your rise over your run. Now if you could simplify that fraction, go ahead and simplify that fraction. Let me show you something that you can do to immediately get the simplified version of that fraction. Count from this point to this point. It goes up how many, over how many, and then you have your simplified version of that slope if you just go from this point to this point, if that helps. Okay, so in number two, you're going to have to remember what you call a vertical line. This is a vertical line. I'm going to give you a choice, okay? It's either no slope or undefined. Okay, you should remember from last week or your notes or whatever what signifies no slope, what signifies undefined. So it's either no slope or undefined on that one. This one, there's nothing to simplify here. You just have your rise over your run. So it's from this point to this point, it goes up how many, over how many, okay? So up, that's your top number, over your run, how many over, okay? And then this one, let's pick out a couple points here. It looks like this is a good point. By the way, the difference between this one and 1 and 3 is that this one's going down, so you're going to have a negative slope. Okay, so you're going to have to put a negative in front of whatever numbers you put here and here. Okay, so these two numbers here, we'll call that A or B, you know, your rise over your run. So I'm going to count from this point to, it looks like right here. This is as far, you know, you want to get where you want to get where the graph, the line on your graph crosses right at an intersection of a y and x value, you know, a whole number value, so that you can easily determine what the slope is. So from this point to this point, how far does it go down and over? So in a negative, you know, the rise is a negative rise, which means it's going down. So it goes down how many, over how many. Okay, so down how many is your top number, and over how many is your bottom number. For number 5, let's see, we're going to pick a point. It looks like it is good right here. And it goes all the way to like right here where it intersects an x value and a y whole value perfectly. So you remember this is a positive because it is going up. Read a graph always from left to right. So it is going up. So, you know, what's your rise? How far does it go up from this line to this line? How many lines is that? Pretty easy. And then what is the run? So from here, then count. What's that number on the bottom? Okay. Number 6, you just have a flat horizontal line. Doesn't matter where the points are or whatever, just that flat horizontal line. It's going to be one of these. Once again, I'm going to give you a choice. 50-50 shot here. It's either called no slope or undefined. Okay, when you come across a horizontal line, it's either one of these, no slope or undefined. It's very, you know, it's similar to that number 2. That's a vertical line though, so it's going to be different answer, but you know, you have the same choices, no slope or undefined. One of them's no slope, one of them's undefined. Okay, finding the slope of a line through each pair of points. Remember, it's easiest to mark these x1, y1, x2, y2. And that formula, remember, for slope, m stands for slope. And remember, you're going to take your y2 minus your y1 over your x2 minus your x1. Gotta make it look like an x. Okay. So I'm going to have negative 12 minus a negative 13, which is going to be plus. Minus a negative is plus. So negative 12 plus 13 over 9 plus 6. Okay, that's to get you started. And then that will give you your slope. And you can simplify those fractions if you can. If not, just leave them as a fraction, rise over run. Here's x1, y1. Here's x2, y2. So I'm going to have 14 minus 5 and 9 minus a negative, it's going to be plus 9. I'm figuring out that slope. Go ahead and figure that out. Okay, here, notice that my y values are the same. Y values are going to be the same. That means it's going to be a flat line here. So no matter what, you're going to have these points at negative 7. So if I were to look at like a graph, so negative 7 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it'd be like down here, and it'd be a flat horizontal line. So it's either going to be no slope or undefined for number 9. Before I start doing all that math, I just noticed that these two are the same. Whenever you have the same coordinates in the y's, in your y variables, is that no slope? Or is it undefined? Okay, remember it's going to look like this one, but it's off the charts here. It's down at 7, negative 7, and it's going to be a horizontal line, so it should be the same answer as your number 6. Okay. And then this one, doesn't matter that your x and y are the same. I mean, you're going to do this problem. x1, y1, x2, y2. Because notice your y's are different and your x's are different. So negative 13 plus 8, because two negatives make a positive. And then I'm going to have negative 13 plus 8. So you're going to have the same number over the same number, so mathematically, what is going to be that slope. All right. Good luck on this quiz, and hopefully this helped.